Hello, hello, everyone. Oh, I think I'm on mute still.
Uh, nope, you're not.
I'm not? Not
Yeah.
on mute.
No, the one mic is like a different thing.
Oh, okay. Cool. Everyone can hear me. Let's go. Cool. Hello, hello, everyone. We're going to be playing one of the worst LL decks I think I've ever seen. So this is... I'm not even going to go into the deck tech first because I want to just get into a game so I can showcase this. But if you can guess what the combo is without knowing the deck, that'll be very fun, I think. I won't show. I won't. I'm not even gonna show the deck list off. We're gonna experience this together. I practiced this deck last night just to understand how it works, and it's probably the dumbest deck I think I've ever seen. At least like LL. Uh, oh, you just fatigued the victor as gravy. Nice. Oh yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, this deck is like this. I think this deck actually gave me like a headache last night when I was trying to practice it. I don't think. Hold on. Let me check the results. I don't think I won a single game.
You got really close.
I got a person to one in one game, and that was the closest I got. I probably even misplayed that game, but it doesn't get much better than that. So
Who's been playing with that?
ooh, triple remembrance conquer the high seas. It's pretty huge. Yeah, nothing but red. We have not won a single game with this deck. If we win a single game this stream, I think that will be a good goal, and then we can play like a real L deck or whatever. But for now, we have to play this. Also, let me make sure I check Kalashar. Let's see. All right, we got an opponent. Let's see what's up. Playing against the Judester. All right. I don't actually know if we're gonna be able to beat Jude, which is embarrassing. Let's bring in the tar pit traps. And I think we're cutting like the E-pots. Maybe bring in one E-pot. Let's do something like this. This is gonna be a train wreck. I don't think we're actually going to be able to beat Jude.
Oh, the Dio? No, this is not possible.
I don't think this is possible, especially them going first. But we're gonna do our best effort here. I mean, the opening hand's not that bad. Not infinite arrows. It's a very finite number of arrows. Well, at least we have the CYB. We want to hold on to the Razor here. All right. Whisper the Oracle. So we have double Razor, which is good. The problem is the Art of War is clunky. All right, let's start with the Whisper. So the Rio can get bottomed. Trip can also get bottomed. I think we want to draw. Oh god, what do we want to do here? I think we want to draw the Trip first. And then we want to keep these two. I think that's right. Then I think we can Shock Charmers, the Art of War. I think we need an IP with the Razor, maybe. Maybe we can also afford to get rid of the one Razor. I think that's also fine. Let's try this. Alright. So we're going to Arsenal the Rain Razor, and then we can turn it face up on our turn. We're going to be taking a lot of damage here, though. Like a lot of damage. Alright, we'll start with the Heaven's Claw block. Fortunately, at least we probably don't have to worry about like CNC, which is nice. I feel like CNC kind of just like destroys the stack. Alright, Sprocket Rocket, also fine. I imagine we're probably going to end up taking 7 off these Boom Grenades, depending on what he's got here. But if we're just taking a bunch of pistol swings, this could actually be okay for us. Alright, so we're going to eat the pistols. The real question is what the follow-up is. Yeah, this is fine so far. This is just a setup turn. We're pretty okay with this, honestly. Alright, backup protocol's pretty good, so we're getting back either Sprocket or Yellow 0 to 60. Potentially okay. Alright, Optical Monocle and DOL. I actually don't know what a DOL deck looks like. Alright, another gun. As long as we don't have a 0 cost on the back end, I think we're actually safe from these boom grenades. Sick. Alright, we lived through the boom grenades. Very important. Alright, so now we want to turn the Rain Razors face up with Lexi. So that way we have basically an extra arsenal zone for our combo. Alright, starting off with the Teklo Core, also fine. I think we're only going to try to play out the one E-Pod here. We might have to end up blocking with our combo piece, but that's also fine. So I think we're just going to go for the Tar Pit Trap on this. I'm also intentionally not mousing over what Snapshot does, just in case anyone still wants to be kind of surprised at what the combo is. I mean, the combo is pretty simple. It's like once you read this card, you kind of understand what the combo is, I guess. All right, just coming in for 4. So we're gonna try to pitch this, and then we're gonna play out the E-Pot. But we want to keep as many snapshots in the deck as possible. We could also arsenal this. I think that's also reasonable. Let's go ahead and arsenal it, maybe. It does mean that we don't get the opportunity to, like, keep the Uriax in arsenal. That might be okay. I wonder if we should have just, like, boarded out all the combo pieces and maybe just try to go for, like, raw fatigue. That would have also been kind of funny. It's looking like a pretty scary turn, though. We also have the red boom grenade out. Alright, cracking the power plant. Just coming in for 3. I feel like we should probably just accept that this boom grenade is hitting. I think there's probably not really a realistic way we're going to be able to, like, prevent this boom grenade. So I think this is fine. Probably also just pitching the second Artivore on our turn, and then maybe, like, Fate. So we block functionally 9 with this hand. I think that's okay. I want to try to make sure I'm getting, like, max value out of this Fate Foreseen. Yep, Tome's pretty good. Drawing a lot of cards. I guess that is, like, the one good draw of, like, Dio and LL is to get to run Tome of Fyendal. Pretty nice. Alright, so we have the Fast and Furious. So actually, one thing that I neglected that we could actually end up doing here is doing, like, defensive Artivore. Is that actually better, maybe? Because, like, we can also cycle towards, like, our pitch stack, basically. I think this actually kind of makes sense. So we pull Tunic, we can Artivore, so we'll do Banish +1. Seems fine. Could have also done Defend from Arsenal, but I think we want to hold on to that as much as possible. So Banish the trip. Alright, so this is actually fine for us. So now we Fate. We have functionally, like, 14 value in our hand. Whisper is fine. Sure, Balance also fine. Jude is basically going to be able to draw functionally infinite cards here if he wants, so I don't think it matters a ton. Alright, there's the Optical. Not seeing a ton of our CYBs as one point of concern. I almost have a feeling we might be able to win just on the back of like pure fatigue. I mean, that's how we should have boarded instead of like doing the weird combo thing we wanted to do. All right, so now we can sink below. I don't think we're actually going to sink anything here. We already took the boom grenade on hit, so it doesn't really matter. I think we want to leave the whisper on top just in case. But yeah, system reset is also, I think, another one of the big draws to play this deck. You just system reset, get a bunch of action points. Oh, speaking of system reset. Yep, so we get to reset the Cerebellum, draw a million cards. Seems pretty good. Yep, max fee also quite good. So we weren't blocking that boom grenade anyway this turn, but we can at least double sigil this turn, which is kind of funny. So we're taking 4 off this almost, which I think I'm fine with. All right, good blocking hand. I don't think we also need all of our snapshots. Okay, maybe I'll mouse over this card now. So basically what the combo with snapshot is that if you fuse it, you may activate abilities of your bows you control an additional time this turn as though they were instant. So Death Dealer has Go Again on the back end of it. So what this means is that if you activate Death Dealer as an instant, the Go Again does not get, because normally it's an action, so you turn it into an instant, and then basically you're netting action points by playing Snapshot, which functionally just like gives Snapshot Go Again, but it also draws you a card, because every time you activate Death Dealer, you also draw a card, which is quite nice. So that is the dumb combo we're trying to pull off today. Twin Drive also fine. Guess I'll just like sink below this. There are a lot of problems with this combo, which we'll probably get into at some point. I think we're actually supposed to bottom this. CYB is fantastic. There are a lot of problems with this combo, mainly that it is profoundly soft to disruption. You have to line up your pitch stack near perfectly, because if you draw certain cards like out of order, it's also really bad. But this is the deck we're basically going to be playing today. I think I'm actually just going to use Whisper for blocking here so that I can just hold on to the CYB. We might have gotten a little bit greedy with like arsenaling the snapshot that early, but this is also my like 4th game on this deck. All right, playing out another Cerebellum, also fine. So how many high octanes do we have left? We have 1 high octane. Sure, that's fine. So now we get to CYB. Fortunately, I've not seen a ton of our CYBs. I don't know if that's actually a good thing or a bad thing. Yeah, probably realistically should board like completely differently for this matchup. All right, then 0-60. We can block now with the Heaven's Claw. We probably are going to have to block with our snapshots at some point. But yeah, this might just be like a straight fatigue win. I'm trying to think of like what Jude's ceiling is in terms of like damage output here. I feel like it's not that high. Like, what do we have to worry about? We have to worry about potentially one or two more max Vs, high octane, and then maybe another system reset. I feel like that's still not that much damage, though. All right, coming in for another 4. I think we'll just go ahead and fate this now. CYB on top. I think that's still fine. Because we're also going to have Tunic Counter coming up. So I think that makes sense. Probably did make sense to board out more no blocks than we ended up doing. All right, Yellow Boom Grenade. Could also theoretically give up Tunic here if we wanted to. I think we could probably safely take 4. Yeah, the Snapshot is such a janky card. I love it. So we used only one of our snapshots so far, so that's good. Looks like Jude might end up using the Achilles here. Maybe not. Also fine. All right, Shock Charmers. This is perfect. So we get to pitch a snapshot, and we also get to keep the CYB. So I think that's great. So important thing also with this deck is that you kind of have to not just like pitch bad cards to the bottom. You also have to like just block with them and get them out of your deck as soon as possible. All right, Total Find also really good. All right, 6-card hand. Fully am expecting to get High Octane at some point, but we are basically out of deck at this point. So that is a benefit there. I feel like we might as well just like give up the Sarong. I feel like this Boom Grenade is like hitting almost certainly this turn, but we might as well make him work for it. All right, Spark of Genius. Do we even have any? What hits do we even have left in the deck? Getting. Oh no. Apparently that is a good game from Jude. Well, we won a game! Yay! We won a game without actually playing the combo.
Oh, did you just fatigue?
Yeah, I just fatigued Jude. Well, Jude, thank you for being the paid actor for the stream. Appreciate that. But yeah, that okay, so let's go ahead and now that I guess more people are in, we're gonna do the deck tech now. So this deck list was originally given to me by I think a friend of the channel. I think their name is Iwa. Let me actually pull up their full deck list just so I know their full name here. Iwa no Kimi. So yes, this is their deck list. This is a stack deck list. And I think originally they sent me kind of like this is basically the original version they sent me. So they sent me a deck list that was running cards like Starting Stake, cards like Opal Amulet, Ruby Amulet. Like I think this deck list is actually also really good. Like good in a way of like I think it does like make sense that it's trying to do something. Bad in the way of like I think this deck just like loses hard to Brier. But this is a fun combo deck. So the combo here that we're trying to do is we're trying to basically combo Death Dealer with Snapshot. So Snapshot basically lets us use our bow. We control initial time as though we're an instant. So what you can do is you can basically chain Snapshot off of Death Dealer. So the play pattern is basically you Death Dealer in a Snapshot. You then fuse it with a lightning card in hand. You then get to activate the bow, which will then give go again. So it functionally is like a roundabout way of giving Snapshot itself go again. But every time you also activate Death Dealer, you have to pay 1, and then you also draw a card. So it's kind of like, it's not an infinite because there's only so many Snapshots that you can actually put in your deck. But you can go pretty wide, especially with cards like Rain Razors, Art of War, and there's also like a lot of card draw in this deck, so like Cash-ins and 3-Oak. So this is the original deck list that Iwa gave me. And I think that there's like a lot of cards that at least I initially had questions on, like Frailty Trap, Blue Plunder Run, stuff like that. And I think Iwa has like rationales for those as well. So anyways, I took Iwa's original deck and I basically kind of butchered it / improved it in some different ways. CYB Enchanted Quiver, and yeah, this is going to be terrible. The third High Octane did not exist, also very funny. So basically I took this deck list and I tried to basically iterate on it a little bit. So what I brought in over the other deck list was Oasis. And Oasis is actually, I think, really important because the less snapshot or the more snapshots you have to block with, the lower your ceiling is. So basically your goal is to pitch all 9 snapshots into your deck and then cycle back into them, which is very, very challenging to also like play all of them at the same time. We'll get into that a bit. But basically that's kind of like the goal. So we want as many ways to pitch any color of snapshot as possible. And then I'm also running 2 3-Oak. I think they were on 3 3-Oak. So 2 3-Oak. This card is really clunky. You can basically only play it once you've already played out your Rain Razors, your Art of Wars. Basically, your other, like once you can only 3-Oak once you basically know that you're going to be drawing into arrows. So like snapshots. And basically like anything else, right? So that's kind of like my main changes. I think I also like brought in some shelters over some of the like potions and stuff just to add a little bit of consistency. But this is the deck, and I don't even know if I have a sideboard for this deck because we're running 76 cards. Like I don't actually know what cards will improve it. Maybe we just run the blue plunder runs again, but I also don't know what we bring those into to begin with. But yeah, this deck is a nightmare to play. This deck, we beat Jude. That's to be expected. That's fine. Taking a chuckle out of that. But yeah, I think against like most like meta LL decks, you are probably not going to do very well. Specifically into like Brier, Viscerai. I think those are all pretty challenging. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and try to play a little bit more of this deck. We'll see if we can actually like showcase the real combo. I think the last game maybe didn't count because we kind of just like fatigued. But yeah, that's kind of the idea here. So let's see if we can get another one.
Oh, Tashiasha has a really good idea.
What's a really good idea?
Read it in the chat.
Oh, knick-knack, bric-a-brac. Yes, that would also be quite well. Yeah, why don't we bring that in the sideboard? Why not? We're building as we go.
It should that would be. I would love that. That would be so.
All right, yeah, we got 2 bric-bracs in the board. I think that makes sense. Also, I guess that only works with riches. I guess we don't even run the starting stakes in this version of the deck. Maybe we also bring in the starting stakes. All right, so we're running the knick-knack, bric-a-brac starting stake package in the sideboard. I think that's reasonable. Okay, yeah, so this deck doesn't get much better than this, I think. I think this is about as good as it gets, so let's see if we can get another one. But if any of you all have any dumb LL decks to try, assuming we get a couple wins with this, we can also try those as well. So if you have any ideas, feel free to post them in the chat and we'll try it. All right, so definitely want to go first into Dash. So this is LL Dash, which is kind of interesting. I feel like we want to do a similar thing where we're probably just bringing the tar pit traps and then like cutting down on potions or just like no blocks. Let's cut the... Do we want to cut the riches? Maybe we bring in the starting stakes over the riches. I'll give them a good luck, have fun. Maybe we cut like another potion. Does that even make sense? We're kind of... Yeah, whatever. This is probably acceptable. We'll try it like this. All right, 2 CYBs in the hand to start us off. Don't really love pitching the tar pit trap, but maybe it's fine. It basically like extends our pitch stack a little bit, but I think that's okay. So the tar pit trap is going to be the start of our pitch stack, and then I think we're just going to IP with these 2. So let's arsenal, I guess, the Fate here now. Wonder if this is like a fatigue dash or something. Oh, it is a fatigue dash. Okay, so we're playing against another CYB deck. So this is going to mean that, okay, we're getting CNC. That's fine, especially when we don't have the combo. So I think here we're just going to take this. Yellow Oasis is also nasty. We're going to take that, and I think maybe just, now that we know they're on like a CYB plan, I think we're probably just going to arsenal the other CYB in case they play out another like CNC or something. So yeah, this is going to be like full pistol dash. Interesting. So this is going to be a matchup where we like actually have to completely pitch stack it. Our pitch stack right now is not very good, I would say. Yeah, this does feel very wizard coded, I agree. I don't even know if it's like a real wizard deck. Maybe it is. All right, induction chamber, that's also fine. Let's go ahead and just sync here. I think I'm trying to sync maybe for a blue. I think let's get rid of 1 Oasis here. All right, snapshot's fine. So we are kind of a combo deck too, which is nice. I don't think Dash has the same real combo potential, which is I think beneficial for it. The yellow sync blow as well. Jesus Christ. All right, L is a format. So actually, I think the thing we're doing here is we're turning the CYB face up, Arsenal Shelter, pitch Oasis with the snapshot. There's so many fun things to do in LL, like CYB or play Brier. Those are the 2 things you can do in LL that are fun. I don't think that's true. I think LL actually has like a lot of weird variety to it. Supposedly Starvo actually hasn't been doing all that well in LO. You can also play Dromai, that's true. Dromai is also the maybe the third deck you can play. Is Dromai actually like a good deck though? I don't know. Maybe it is. We need Alex to weigh in on that. I feel like he would have some choice words to say. We're gonna be here a while though. At least we're not fat stacking. We're both not fat stacking, which maybe will make this go a little bit quicker. Oh, maybe I also need a refresh. Hold on. Nope, didn't need a refresh. All right. Oh, sorry. Whoops. Oh, whoops. Okay, sorry. We did not mean to shelter. We meant to. I forgot we even played the Oasis. It was that long. Okay. So now we can just flip over the CYB and keep a double arsenal here, which is great. We still have to worry about that other two CNCs. But it shouldn't be the end of the world. We're basically getting applied 0 pressure. So as long as we end up just keeping the CYBs in the deck and playing out our starting stakes, I think we're actually in an okay spot. So this actually might be a good opportunity to just Oasis here. Go ahead and pull the Tunic, and this will also prevent all the counters from the gun this turn. Or all the damage from the gun this turn. Feels like A tier. Yeah, I would agree this deck does definitely feel like A tier. Alright, so taking no damage. Or no, oh, they're just loading. They're loading the pistol, they're not sending it. Alright, another CYB, not the end of the world. So in that case, we could unironically just let ourselves get hit by this. But I guess we might as well just like gain the damage by pitching the snapshot and then let the shelter go. So this is fine. We're basically just preserving our combo pieces here. There's their CYB. So I think our goal here is basically just to try to get to them before they get to play all their CYBs out. I think that's our plan. Let's go ahead and starting stake now, so get our first gold. Unfortunately, we don't have the riches in this matchup. So that might be a little bit of a hindrance. We can't, unfortunately, make a second gold off the starting stake, so we might as well block with it. I think we're just like double pitching our snapshots here. They still have one more CNC we have to worry about. So I think we should just try to leave these in the deck as much as possible. I'm trying to remember what our stack is exactly at this point. I think it's like a couple D-reacts and like an Oasis, and then we start hitting our snapshots. So you do need to be a little bit careful about when we pop off. Alright, so there's Brother in Arms. Also fine. Go ahead and block with Heaven's Claw. Take 1. So once they use the last CYB, then I think we can start arsenaling some of our threats. But I think now we're just fine pitching the 2 snapshots. And also, we have 3-oak in this deck, so we do have to be a little bit careful to leave at least 1 3-oak in the deck. Alright, so they're going to pistol, that's fine. Let's go ahead and just sink the pistol. I mean, they're not really putting up a ton of real pressure, so let's actually put this 3-oak in the deck. I think that was worth it. If they end up having the other CNC here, I don't think we care, because we just are sitting on double sigil. Alright, there's another ripple away, also fine. So let's go ahead and now just block with the Warmongers. Now we can just like flip up Sigil menacingly, which is funny. Just let them know we're sitting on it. But I don't know if they're going to expect the second one. We probably also should have assumed, based on boarding, that they were probably going to be a fatigue deck. In which case, we maybe wanted to bring in like our Knick-Knack Brick-a-Brack package. Oh, we could have also brought in our Imperial Warhorn. That would have been funny. Alright, double Sigil and Arsenal. We actually do want to hold on to the Rain Razors if we can help it, but I think pitching it for now is probably fine. lots of D-reacts from our opponent's side. So the nice thing also is we do play around Stonewall Gauntlet with this combo. So that's at least something. We have also not seen another induction chamber. So maybe all in all, this isn't that bad. Now let's see what the follow-up is. Maybe just another pistol or a truce. I feel like I'm kind of fine with truce, though. I mean, they're gaining some life padding. That's true. But I feel like we're maybe okay with that. Alright, so let's go ahead and CYB. Then another CYB. Then we'll gain another 3 off the truce. So we're both staying healthy here, at least. So it's basically on us to figure out how to win the game. Because they're basically not going to be able to meaningfully pressure us. Alright, just double CYB or something. Yep, seems good. Sounds good to me. So we still have that one last CNC we have to worry about. And then I think now we can just go ahead and discard the trip. CYB, and then pitch away the last snapshot. I don't actually know how many of our snapshots we've seen. I think this is still fine. All right. Both players sitting at a nice healthy 52. What is like the max life gain you can actually gain off like CYB? I forget. It's like someone do the math. It's like 60 something, isn't it? Or is it like 50 something? Yeah, you're not playing Fab unless you're both sitting at a 60. I agree with that. Okay. So you actually might want to start just IPing here. So let's go ahead and now sigil. Now we discard the shelter, discard the trip. I think we're not going to pitch away the Heaven's Claws because we need to keep our snapshots really close to each other. So I think we're going to Arsenal a Sync and just IP with this with the goal that we're going to try to block. $54 life, thank you. I knew it was somewhere in the 50 to 60 range. All right, so we have another truce. We actually might just want to break the truce just so they don't gain the life. Like, we can just do it with, like, Heaven's Claw. I think that's pretty reasonable. Because, like, giving them cards basically does nothing, right? So now let's go ahead and pitch the Art of War here. I think this 3-oak we're going to end up blocking with. Could also just keep it. But it's still clunky in our stack, I'd say. Alright, so he gets to play a Sync Blow. That's also fine. I think we're breaking the truce there just to limit their life gain. So I think because we have the Art of War, we actually might be okay just Shock Charming the truce and then keeping the 3-oak after or something. I don't know if we want to keep this or block with it. I feel like blocking with it is maybe more beneficial. Alright, they're activating their Purifier, so they will be attacking us this turn. We need to pitch away the Snapshot. So we can actually do off Tunic if we want to. So I'd say let's go ahead and block with the 3-oak and then maybe even the Tar Pit Trap here. I guess Somersault also helps with the Snapshot, kind of. It doesn't help after 3-oak is the only issue with it. It looks like they're getting another pistol counter here. And then they're just pitching the Purifier one more time. Okay. Fortunately, they're a fool, and they decided to deal me 1 damage. Missed opportunity there. Okay. So now we get to Tar Pit Trap on the Brothers in Arms, and then just double pitch this to the Shock Charmers here. Alright. Exactly according to plan. So we still can't Arsenal just yet. We need to wait for basically triple Rain Razors. That's when we can start arsenaling, I think. I'm trying to bait them to see if they'll want to use that last CNC. They might honestly just be sitting on it, which would probably damper our plans a little bit. We have the CYB, we have the Art of War. So I'd say this is still fine. An average rate of 3 life per card, including the card you pitch once you. Oh yeah, true. Yeah, it's been a while since I feel like I played CYB, which I don't think I exactly miss. I know some people were fans of CYB though. I know people are out there. Okay. Teklo Palace Pistol. So I think we're just preventing this. So they will also have the quick dodge on our pop-off turn. I wonder if that actually matters. So our goal here is to play 9 snapshots. And then we also need to play all 3 Rain Razors. So those are basically our goals. I think if we do that, how much damage are we getting per snapshot? We're getting like 10 damage per snapshot. If we get to play an Art of War 2, I feel like that also adds quite a bit. All right, so we found a Razor. We might just end up IPing with that for a couple turns, just to see if we can get them to use Disruption. Warmonger is also another one we kind of have to keep track of. Let's go ahead and keep blocking, though. The problem is we do need to use the Razors before we start drawing into the snapshots, so we might actually need to, like, second cycle this one more time. How many Warmongers have we seen? We've just seen the one. Oh, I guess you can only play one, right? I forgot that they restricted that. I'm so used to like seeing this in Constructed that I forget that sometimes. All right, so I think this might actually be an opportunity to just use Sync up here. Yeah, this seems fine. Let's go ahead and not sync anything though. And then we just play out CYB, pitch the Heaven's Claws. I think we're actually not even going to Arsenal the Rain Razors. We're just going to like IP with it. We need them to use their very last CNC here. Could also just block with like Heaven's Claw and then CYB off this. I think that's also fine. All right, nice, healthy 69. All right, we also have found our last Count Your Blessings too. So I think there are going to be a couple turns where we're going to take like 10 damage a turn, and then we're just going to try to find triple Rain Razor. But we're basically almost at stack. But yeah, I probably should have boarded assuming that this was probably just a CYB deck. Cash-in, I think, is another one we want to try to bottom. Let's go and Fate now. I would maybe actually just keep for getting rid of it. Or just like pitching on to Shock Tremors on our turn. Yeah, Amy, welcome in. I don't think you're gonna enjoy the stream. This is already turning out to be a nightmare. We're both at very healthy life totals. Just playing out some CYBs. All right. So are we going to be able to actually combo through a full CYB dash deck? That's what I'm curious. This is a nightmare. I agree. This is I'm kind of glad the strategy is not actually good in LL, because holy crap, this is like miserable. All right. I wonder if they've just been like sitting on the CNC too. I think that's also a concern. We are not blocking any damage they do at this point. So we're probably going to start hemorrhaging a bit of damage. Okay, last CNC is used, so now we can actually keep an arsenal. Fantastic. So I think they actually might have made a mistake. I mean, I guess it depends on like what their arsenal is. Like maybe they just like arsenal react or something. But yes, this is very good for us. So we're getting really close, and now we also don't have to worry about the disruption, which is a huge deal. Let's start with the eye. I think we're gonna try to like uber stack this. So I think we can bottom the Fate Foreseen, keep the razors on top because now we want to start arsenaling the razors. And then let's shock charmers. And I think, do we want to keep the cash in? I think we do want to keep the cash in. So I think our arsenal is going to be set up so that we can arsenal the cash in plus the razors, and then we're going to try to go from there. So fortunately, we also don't really need our tuna counter for the deck. The tuna counter is like a nice to have, but I think we can also be fine just using it for Oasis here. What did you do to deserve doing this on stream? So I got sent this deck list from Iwa, who is a fan of the channel. And this deck list is a nightmare. So I figured, you know, good opportunity to play an F tier Friday deck. I don't know how well that's going for me, but it is funny, I think. All right, induction chamber. So the good thing at least is we're not like fat decking fatigue. We're just like comboing. So I guess I feel a little bit better. 2 sync blows. How many lightning cards do we use? So we have 3 lightning cards here, 3 lightning cards here. So for our lightning cards, we have 2 current funnels left in the deck. That actually might be a problem. So now we also need to factor in the current funnel into the game plan. Otherwise, we cannot fuse the snapshot. All right, so another pistol, also fine. I think here we're just going to go ahead and pull Tunic. But yeah, this deck is a nightmare. Let's do it on the pistol. Gain a little bit of life. Our plan is to flip the cash and face up. We could also IP with the snapshot, but I don't even know if that's necessary. I think we actually maybe are fine just pitching this because we're going to basically draw our entire deck. So I think what our hand needs to be is like triple Rain Razor plus the lightning card or something. Okay, so this is actually perfect. So we are kind of set up here. And the biggest thing that I think we were worried about was just the CNCs here. I don't think they have any disruption aside from that. So I think we're actually going to just like pitch all of these to shock charmers this turn and just take a bunch of damage because I don't think we care about our life total. I think the only thing we really care about at this point is their life total. All right, so yeah, this is fine. We're going to take our 6 damage. Riches, CYB, Fatigue, Marlin, when. I think they banned that, unfortunately. I guess we could do it in LL, but I don't think I want to subject myself to that. All right, so we'll pitch the snapshots. So I think we have like 5 snapshots on the bottom now, if I'm not mistaken. We'll activate 1 more, just for good measure. We'll keep the red ones first. I guess it doesn't really matter. All right, this might actually be the go-off hand. Can we go off on this? So we have 5 cards at the bottom. We're drawing how many cards? I don't know if we're actually drawing enough cards here. So, oh, this is weird. Should we rip it? Having them, I feel like we're just like a couple cards short of being able to pop here. It's so close. How many current funnels do we have? One. We have 1 left in the deck. I think we need to just go for the current funnel. We also have 2 Art of War still in the deck. I wish I was better at stacking so I would know if this is like actually what we want. I feel like we're actually supposed to just like pitch, like IP with the current funnel, pitch the 3 oak and the snapshot here. Does that make sense? I feel like it kind of does. I don't actually know if we can do enough damage though. Like maybe with Shock Charmers. Because Shock Charmers is the next time. So we'd have to do the Shock Charmers towards the end or whenever we get to functionally hit in. So let's go ahead and pitch the 3-Oak in the snapshot here. Because I think we need to draw the 3-Oak after this and then do that. I guess we can also get rid of the current funnel if we want to now. Because I think we still have that one last current funnel in the deck. So the bottom of our deck is going to be 5 snapshots plus a 3-Oak plus another snapshot. And then we are drawing in a fresh 3 cards. I think we can do this. Sorry, I'm having to like actually think about my stack, which I also don't do a ton. I feel like I kind of more vibe stack than anything. So let's do 3-Oak first. Keep those. I feel like we're super close. All right, so there's their last CYB. All right, so our opponent is at a nice healthy 98. Are we going to be able to deal 98 damage? I guess we're going to find out. So we start with the cash in, right? I think we have to go up now. Like, I think we have the bottom 8 cards are stack, right? Yeah, we do also have the Tunic for 3-Oak. Or no, sorry, we don't have the Tunic for 3-Oak now. We pitched the 3-Oak, but that's still fine. We want the 3-Oak in the deck, I think. So now I think we Razor. I think we're gonna go for it. So we Razor. We then cash in first so that we're drawing more cards. So if you pay if you want to do yes, so we do want to do that. We then have the Somersault. So now we also draw a billion cards off the Death Dealer as well. The only issue is we do kind of need to find the Art of War first. Oh, I guess we can also fuse with the Somersault. So now we actually don't need the current funnel. So now we Death Dealer with the current funnel. We can use that for pitch. Load the snapshot. Or no. Oh, no. Sorry, we don't want to do this, actually. We want to... Because the problem is, if we pitch the current funnel, then we don't have a card to banish to the Art of War. So actually, what we should be doing is we should Tunic first, then Art of War the current funnel. I think that's the strat.
You have E-Pots, don't forget.
I do also have the E-Pots. I do recognize that. Buff, draw 2. Banish the current funnel. Alright, nice. Actually, is the Art of War nice? The Art of War maybe will help us later. So now we have the E-Pots. Crack those. We also found the 3rd Razor, which is fantastic. So now we get to do that. We might honestly just Art of War for buff now. I think we Art of War for buff now. I guess buff and go again. Because why not? I don't think we actually need the draw 2, because we're going to be drawing cards off the snapshots. So we just want to make sure we get our buffs here. Then we can Death Dealer, load the snapshot, draw cash in, which is either going to help us pitch or it's going to be something better. So now we fuse the snapshot with the Somersault. So I think this is max damage, right? So now we can start firing off the snapshots. So we fuse here. And then this will give us another Death Dealer, which will functionally give us go again. Coming in for a nice clean 12. So we've assembled the maximum. I think this is like the max damage combo. Even then, I still don't think. I think it might actually be close to whether or not we have it. We need to draw a lot of cards here. So fortunately, the Stonewall doesn't do anything. They will get to crack their balance. The quick dodge could matter. If they're actually blocking with the truce, they're losing value on the quick dodge, right? So we pass here. So we don't want a Somersault just yet, I think. So now we want to let this resolve. This is fine. So now they quick dodge. So I feel like they lost value here, maybe. Or I guess maybe they're thinking they can only activate quick dodge like so many times. Maybe if the rest of their hand is blues, I guess this kind of does make sense. So we should let this snapshot resolve. So we're actually going to be netting action points here. I think we're also going to be really careful with the shock charmers. I don't think we have the resources yet to shock charmer as well. All right, hold the line is fine. So we'll get the prevention there. So now we can Death Dealer, load the other snapshot, draw a card. So it's Fate Foreseen, which is fine. We can use that for pitch. So the only problem here is we're going to probably need to... So we still have 2 action points. So like, we need to draw something good off of this. Or no, actually, I don't even think this works. Because we need a way to load off the Death Dealer. I think we might have bricked off the Fate Foreseen. I think we bricked. Maybe we pitched that Fate Foreseen, and that was what killed us. We could also... Oh, no. We have Somersault. So what saves us here? Hold on. Let me think. I think there is a way that we actually... So no, we need the current funnel is the issue. You break the chain. Oh yeah, break the chain for gauntlets. That does make sense, yep. I still don't think this works, though. I think putting this in our stack was maybe a mistake. Sorry, what? Oh, okay. Do I want to draw a card? I think I have to draw a card, though. Ah, okay. What do you mean? Oh, you want me... No, I'm probably fine in terms of, like, I don't need to draw a card. So, I think... Yes, I did brick. But we might actually have a blue here. So I'm going to actually try to do is just somersault this. So I don't think this is a full brick, because we could draw blue off the top and then just cash in off... Oh. We could try... I don't know. Chat, what do you think? Only if you don't mind. I'm curious if I can theoretically kill you. Alright, I'm kind of curious if I can, like, theoretically kill them. Because I think they won because of this brick. But let's see if I manual mode draw a card, if I'm actually able to deal enough damage here. So, right, let's draw one more. So draw I. I don't know if I can. Okay, so I'm going to manually draw a card, close out of this. Now we can cash in first. So pitch the I. I actually don't know if I'm going to be able to deal 100. So we find the snapshots on top, so that's good. Cheating live on stream, that's fine. So we'd want to draw both of these. I actually don't even know, because like I feel like I also needed some number of like resource cards to make this work. Like maybe I should have left more lightning cards in the deck. So let's now snapshot. Do that. We still have one resource off the Fate Foreseen we can use. Maybe we also just need more potions in the deck. Yeah, this is peak Flesh and Blood. Is cheating, drawing a card, all the fun stuff. So let's now. So I don't actually know if these snapshots being close to each other is good for me. I feel like it isn't. So there's a quick dodge. Sure. This is fine. and then Death Dealer, pitch the Fate, load the Snapshot. So I feel like what we learned from this game is that we needed to have more blues to play, or like more blues in our stack. I guess we can use like the Snapshot here, but it's still maybe not good enough. So we fuse with, or no, sorry, we already fused with that. That's fine. So we pass here. We have to pitch this, which is like the unfortunate part. So maybe we actually do need like more of our E-Pots in the deck. Maybe that was actually something the original list had right. Maybe we need more than the 3 potions. So now we load the other Snapshot, draw another one. We then Snapshot again. So yeah, I don't even know if this beats CYB deck. Is Blue Fate an option? Maybe. The problem is you still need to like kind of win against things like Brier. I mean, assuming you want to try to like actually win with this deck, which is maybe ill-advised. But yeah, I think like you do need like a critical number of like D-Reacts to kind of make this deck work. So the problem here is now we're having like pitch this Snapshot, which gets really weird. I feel like we did an okay job of setting up the stack. I feel like we just like missed out on a few things. Oh, well, now we actually like just brick entirely, right? I guess we can draw like the blue current funnel. But yeah, I think like even if we had all the right potions, I think we're maybe still not dealing enough damage. So we load this in, we draw the blue one. I think that's the end of it, right? Yeah, I think we may need to go back to the drawing board for like the CYB matchup. I think that's my max. Yeah, I think that's my max even after drawing a card. Like, I think we actually needed more setup to like make this work. So theoretically, let's look and see what, like, I think we just have snapshots left in the deck, right? So if we're able to deal, if we're able to somersault a snapshot back to hand, and then play out the remaining ones, I guess my question is, does that save us? So we have one here, one here, one here. Arsenal that. I don't even know if that saves us though. We only have 4 snapshots left, I think. I'll give him a good game though. That was I don't actually know if that kills. Like even like I think we're still off by a decent margin, it felt like. Very interesting. Go ahead and give him a good game though. Yeah, maybe we just need the max resource pots plus the intellect potion. I think that was in the original list, but maybe we should actually bring that sideboard for like the CYB matchup. Maybe that's actually better than the knick-knack bric-a-brac plan, although I do appreciate that. Let's actually, so we definitely want the riches in this matchup, and then I think I like went into that matchup thinking it was also going to be like more like BO. Maybe I wasn't kind of playing for like the CYB dash, which I guess makes probably more sense than just like normal dash. So what we're gonna bring in? We're gonna bring in potions. So we're gonna bring in the extra intellect potion plus the E-pot. Where are those?
Ooh, potion and deja vu. That's an idea.
Is that an idea?
I mean, maybe. Who knows?
I think it's the amulet, right? Missing. I don't know if the potion of deja vu is necessarily what we want, but I feel like the intellect and the ruby maybe makes sense just for like CYB fatigue. Like maybe we just need to set up, because like I don't even know if we end up killing CYB decks with this deck. Like maybe we even need like the 3rd Art of War to make that work, because we just need like the +1 pump. Let's maybe bring that into. So let's bring in the 3rd Art of War and put that sideboard, and maybe this is kind of like the sideboard. I think you only, in the like general case, need 2 Art of Wars. The first 3 oak I think actually killed. Not pitching away and waiting for the second. Oh, when we had the first 3 oak in our hand, I think maybe that's true. So the problem with 3 oak is that like you have to have 3 oak only draw arrows from that point in the game. Like you have to draw your your rain razors before you can 3-oak, otherwise you can't play them from hand. So like maybe that 3-oak does, but the problem is like the load, like getting things in arsenal is the issue with 3-oak. But maybe you're right. If I watch that back, someone can probably watch that back and tell me if the 3-oak actually killed. Let's try the deck like this, kind of towards the original deck where we were running more potions. I think we're maybe just a little bit short on damage versus like CYB decks. So yeah, we'll try it out like this. I feel like the third Art of War and like this package right here kind of feels like maybe this is what we do against like CYB decks. I think we also need to be careful, like try to leave more of our blue lightning cards in the deck. Oh, you're saying put the 3-oak into Arsenal? I think that also makes sense. We can Arsenal a 3-oak and then draw our draw into our 3 rain razors. I think that also is probably a pretty good option. The only concerning thing about 3-oak is like you need to make sure you play all your buffs beforehand. That's like the only concern I had with 3-oak specifically. All right, let's try to stack it one more time. Hopefully we can play against like a little bit more of like an aggro deck as opposed to another CYB deck, because I feel like the ceiling gets a lot tighter. All right, play against Blurple. I played against him yesterday and he smacked me upside the head, so we'll see if this day we can do any better. You might not even want to play based on the yesterday's game. Yep, round 2. All right, let's do it. Let's do it. So we definitely want the tar pits. I think we can cut the whispers. And I think the riches is still fine in the deck. Still just need that 1 gold. And then what else do we want in the deck? I feel like the third Art War is out, so that's fine. I feel like we can maybe even cut like 1 E-pot and maybe bring in like Whisper or Unmovable. I think those are both fine. Let's try it like this. So we can start off pretty strongly here. So this is a good stack. And then do we want to just like Warmongers, or do we want to Arsenal the Warmongers for a later turn? I feel like I'd rather Warmongers than like a 5-card hand, if I can help it. I think we're just going to do this and just keep the current funnel and the snapshots in the deck. But I'd say that's a good start to our pitch stack. So we know the current funnel's on top. Have I consider adding Tome of Fyendal? You could Sea Lace a blue snapshot to gain 2 action points, and then Fyendal off of the extra op. Or the extra AP. That's also maybe something we could test out. I don't think it's like a serious deck, so I feel like there's probably a lot of room for improvement here. So yeah, your guess is as good as mine, I'd say. I feel like that sounds reasonable. I wouldn't advise playing this deck on your own, though, because it's kind of a nightmare. All right, Force of Nature. So we need to prevent the next damage if we can help it. So I think here we're just going to shelter this. Shelter this and try to block out the on-hits this turn. Want to try to maybe block with the Cash-In plus the Oasis this turn if I can help it. So we could give them a card draw here, or we can just go for Oasis on the Ball Lightning. I feel like maybe we should just give up the card draw, though. And just take our 1, and then try to prevent the next thing that Flurple's doing. Yeah, this is definitely one of the fab decks to relax and fall asleep to. Let's go ahead and Oasis on the Gloom Veil. But at least gain a point of value here, which is nice. Alright, we're staying healthy. I think we're going to still sit on this Warmongers. I don't want to flip it face up also, because then we obviously show them the warmongers, which I think we don't want. I think we have a pretty good stack here almost. We probably do want to hold on to the Rain Razors. The only problem is CNC, which I think a lot of Brier decks are running. So it's almost kind of awkward. I don't think we're spellbinding this. It's fine. Guess the question is, like, how many Sea Laces do we also need? I think these are important questions. Let's go ahead and pitch the snapshot here, I guess. Let's gain a little bit of life. But I almost want to, like, IP with this Razor. Sure. So the issue here is, like, we've stacked a bunch of the snapshots that are, like, coming after a Rain Razor, which is pretty awkward.
I'm gonna go grab some snacks downstairs if you want like a tea or anything.
I'm probably good.
Okay, cool.
Oh, I may need to refresh. Oh, I did. Okay.
I better
Oh, Philip. Hey, Mr. Philip.
Alright, cinnamon.
Come here, Mr. Cat. Alright, go ahead, Warmongers. Here, I'll go ahead and show off the cat to the camera. Cat stream. Big buddy. Alright, go ahead and piece it up. Sigil, and then just Arsenal our Razor. I think there's maybe merit last turn to just, like, losing that blue 3-block. Maybe just for extra life. I think that might be worth it. Alright, so we're going for war here. Do love to see a blue off the top. Can't complain about that. Might just want to tar pit trap this. This also gets around CNC, if that's the follow-up. I'm going to be real, though. I don't know if I'm going to be able to stream this deck for multiple hours. We might honestly just play, like, some Zen LL for fun after this. We'll see if we can beat... we'll see if we can win this one, though. I feel like we did at least demonstrate the idea of the combo, even if we didn't fully execute on it. So I think here we'll just go for the sink below. Pass. Do have to be very concerned about CNC, though. So now let's flip the... I think it's fine to maybe flip the Razors up here, because, like, our Arsenal is probably, like, high value anyways. And then let's put current funnel in there and try to Arsenal the other Art of War. I guess there's also always the out that if he does end up going for CNC, we can try to block it. I feel like that's what we're going to try to save our blocks for, if we can help it. But yeah, this is Philip. I don't know, chat, if you have seen Philip. You probably have seen him on some of the videos, but this is our least favorite cat. I think Wilson is kind of like the golden child. Philip's kind of a turd sometimes. All right, Earthlore, Surge, A-OK. Plunder Run, also concerning. Yeah, Philip is very cute. I love my buddy. All right, so coming with the E-Strike. So the go again here is kind of concerning to me, mainly because if the follow-up is CNC, that's obviously quite bad. Could try to block it out, but if we block it out, then we're leaving ourselves... Or I actually don't even think we can block it out realistically. We can only block 10 total. So I guess we're just taking this, right? Yeah, he is a very devious critter. He's always up to no good. Alright, just a Gloomveil. I'm still pretty concerned about CNC, though. I guess Rosetta Thorn's also, like, pretty reasonable follow-up. I feel like we should actually just be taking a bit of damage here. Maybe we can block with the Heaven's Claw and then use like Tunic plus 3 Oak to pay for the CYB. And then if it is CNC, we can still block 6 on it with the Sea Lace. So let's just get a bit of block value in here. I think that's fine. But yeah, this is one of the reasons why the deck might not be incredibly viable. It's just, I think, Brier probably steamrolls this deck. Yes. So let's... We could actually even use the Spell Void here if we really wanted to, but maybe it's a little early for that. And then I think we're just going to trip here. All right, let's go ahead and pull Tunic and then go for the CYB. Yeah, but I've also been wanting to play some LLs in, so we might actually use that as an excuse to also play some Zen. I know it's been a while. And I do love this deck, but I can slowly feel myself fading. Alright, revealing a heroic from hand is terrifying. God, Brier has like so many good cards. It's kind of insane. Shock Charmers, yep, it's fine. Try actually turn this off for now. We'll have to remember at some point. So we cannot reasonably block here. So I guess we should just do our best. We can also just give up Tunic. I think giving up Tunic's like semi-reasonable. The problem is like this CYB is like terrible right now. This hand actually just like might kill us. I think we should at least make an attempt to block out the burn up shock. Yeah, LLZN's a lot of fun. I do have a deck list already lined up for that. I just need to find it. So here, trying to go with the Rosetta Thorn. Yeah, this is looking pretty rough. I'm not gonna lie. I think we still just need to save our armor though. We also just need to get some of our CYBs online. I think those are like the main priorities. Yeah, unfortunately we aren't able to play out our CYB, and we're also not able to burn up shock there. Both of which are pretty unfortunate. I feel like we at least demonstrated the combo though, and that's what's important. And we also beat Jude. We accomplished our mission of winning a game and also demonstrating the combo. So I think that is pretty reasonable. Would like to try to do it one more time, but into Brier is pretty suspect. Like, honestly, it feels like maybe the play into Brier is to just like cut the combo entirely and just like do your stupid CYB fatigue thing. Big Philip. Let me also like just showcase the length of this cat. He's a very big boy. All right, another plunder run, but we're not getting the +3, so that's at least nice. Yeah, but Philip is he's a big cat. He's a very long boy. I'll let you go now, buddy. All right, I think this is last Serenade. Or no, is this first Serenade? For some reason I thought there's another Serenade played. Maybe I'm losing my mind. Also entirely possible. So being this just the first one. Brier is also like just a wild pile of cards. It's just like generics and buffs. It's kind of hilarious. Nimby is also kind of insane in Brier. So I think our play here is we're just going to try to double CYB. And then just get rolled by a Nimby. So getting the blue Nimblism also really interesting. I feel like that signals CNC, which we cannot block. Ooh, this is going to be a rough one. I think we're toast. But we did make an attempt, and that's important. Yeah. I think we are definitely in danger here. Nimby getting blue Nimblism is also pretty sick. I guess maybe they're just gonna pitch it to the heroic. It's also pretty reasonable. This is the second Skizzik. Yeah, Nimi with Gogan is insane, right? It's like a 0 for 7. Alright, so we still need to eat this. Yeah, it's not looking good. So now we have to CYB in response. Pitching another heroic is at least maybe okay for us. We got some life gain going on. It's not completely hopeless, but we are taking a lot of damage. I feel like Brier is also not really a deck that like bricks. At least not in the way that like other decks can brick. Alright, I can't really complain about Double Oasis. If we can like dodge a CNC with Double Oasis, I feel like that actually might kind of put us back in the game. Maybe a tiny bit. You can actually block out a CNC with his hand through double heroic, which is kind of hilarious. Alright, just a NIMBY coming in for 9. I feel like this is false advertising. But they're getting a red Nimblism. So I don't... So you could obviously pitch a red Nimblism to the CNC. That's one option. But I feel like we're probably safe this turn. So you should probably just prevent the damage. So yeah, we might as well go for it here. And then maybe we can block out with the Whisper on whatever comes next, which I assume is probably also going to come in for like 9. So yeah, I feel like there honestly might even just be like some weird switchboard thing you can do here where maybe it's just better to cut the combo package entirely in certain matchups or like just not even play towards it. I feel like there definitely is like the idea of a deck here. But yeah, I think we're still toast. At least one of the heroics goes away. But the other one staying is more concerning. Alright, Riches is here. Also probably not good. I actually played into someone who was playing Azalea. Oh, I think this actually just like kills us, doesn't it? That's hilarious. Yeah, so we actually get dealt 2 damage off the ball lightning, and then I think we just die. I guess we don't die right away here. Or no, I guess we can. True. I guess we don't die like right away here, but we're like functionally dead. But I did actually play against an Azalea recently. I get into this deck, which is like not really playing, but this deck also lost to Azalea, so not too much. Or like not. I don't think it's like completely unreasonable to play Azalea in LL. All right, I'm gonna go pull out the Zen deck. Look, okay, so we gave this deck a fair shot. I think this deck is like kind of bad, but also like I don't know, if you're like a master pitch stacker, like maybe you can throw together something with this. Let's see if I can pull up the Zen deck list. I think this deck list is really interesting though. Like I think that this is a prime example of an F tier LL deck. Also F tier pilot, as we all know. Like I think there's just so many like moving parts to this deck where like you can't draw, like you have to draw all your rain razors before you draw your snapshots. Like there's a lot of like weird deck sequencing that has to happen, and like you don't always get a ton of time, especially with like Brier and Zen and Ira being like the best decks in the format. It's just a very aggro format right now, so like decks like this, they're cool, but the problem is you just like get run over by like a lot of the more offensive decks. But I think it's still really fun. I'd encourage you all to kind of give it a shot. Maybe you can pull off some better combos. I think this deck is pretty good against like slower decks. Like against the Dash, I think we played against. I think we might have almost threatened lethal, but even then, it's still like it was very clunky because I think we're just like missing some resources in our stack, which we maybe we kind of fixed with the extra amulets here. Yeah, but I think this is a fun deck. Let me see if I can load up the LL deck. So let me find that real quick. Give me 1 second. We'll switch it over. Where is Frog's deck? Where are we? Here we are. Let me pull this up. All right, so this is a deck list from Frog on the purple Discord. Yeah, deck is almost certainly trash. But yeah, this is a deck from Frog on the purple Discord. He's played a lot more, or I don't know what the pronouns are. But yeah, they've played a lot more LL deck than I have, so we're gonna go ahead and give it a shot. And yeah, we're gonna try basically just their deck. I have some ideas for this deck, like the cards that I kind of don't see in here initially. Like maybe we want to try out. Like I think a lot of this does make sense though. Its core, like the bonds make sense. The descendants also make sense. In general, I think the needle package is also just like very strong in LL. That's why I think Ira's been doing so well. But yeah, I think this deck list seems pretty good. I think we also have like a mini package for like Starvo and also like Prism here. So yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and give it a shot. Also, I think another thing to note about this deck list and like this deck list is like very different than like CC Zen was at like any point. Because like you're not playing the 9 bonds, but you also get access to like stubbies and needles, which is like kind of crazy. I guess like Zen had access to needles, but like stubbies is a card that was like never run in Zen, but you like basically have to play in LL Zen. It's like that good. Yeah, so this deck's gonna be really interesting. Let's go ahead and see how it goes. All right, playing against a Brier again. I think supposedly you want to go first a lot more with this deck. And I'm unsure if we want any of this Flick Flack package. I think we just want to go like full aggro. I think Traverse is still reasonable. Let's try it like this. So like the play patterns for Zen LL are like significantly different than they are for like CCLL. Or for just like how he was played in CC. So I think like in general for CC you generally want to go second, but for LL you want to go first a lot more just so you can like dig towards your combo. Yeah, Zephyr Needle is like a crazy strong card. So we're gonna start with Belittle here, I think. Reveal the Hunterwinds and grab our blue Minnowism. She can then just pitch back in the deck. I think we're just gonna basically try to strip hand here. And I think we can actually afford to just give a needle here. If they want to pop it, that's obviously fine. We have the up sticks, and then we can maybe either arsenal the hunt. We can, if they don't pop, we can arsenal the up sticks. If they do pop, we can just go for. Oh, they're gonna double block and make an embodiment here. Okay, so this will pop the needle, but that's fine. So now we can close chain here, up sticks, and retrieve the dagger, and then just send in with another dagger. This is the next dagger attack, so it's not targeting a dagger, so we can also just do either one. But yeah, I think we'll just get some good damage, some good filtering in here, and then next turn we're going to try to put our foot on the gas. Hopefully we can draw some Transcend. I think that's kind of our goal. Alright, we do find Transcend, although it's a little clunky. Still doable, though. They are running Balance, which is still definitely good, but in LL, Art of War, I guess, like, Balance makes a lot more sense in LL just because, like, Art of War is, like, legal, so it's pretty reasonable against us, but, like, it's still ultimately just, like, 4-ish value in Brier. Like, it's nothing, like, super crazy. I think here we're just going to try to take as much damage as possible and try to keep our hand. E-Strike is going to be scary, though. It's kind of crazy how, like, Brier wasn't really that good of a deck when, like, LL was first, like, becoming a format. When did LL, like, I thought LL was, like, pretty recent, right, Tegan? Tegan? Oh, Tegan's got headphones on.
What's up?
Do you know, was LL, like, a recent format? Like, it was within the time that we've played, right?
Yeah, I think December 2020.
3 is when it's like they started doing it.
Yeah, but like it's kind of weird because like Brier, I don't think
Yeah, Worlds 2023.
Worlds 2023 is when it happened, right? I don't think that Brier like at a lot of points was actually like a very good deck in LL, but then they like started printing a bunch of just like a ton of support either between the Aurora deck and also just like the Evergrowth card, the new Briar card, and like they just printed like a ton of stuff for her, so like she's a lot better now. All right, let's go ahead and transcend. And a resource. I think we're just gonna go for the good old chase aspect here. So let's find our aspect. I think we're still gonna sit on this 100 wins just for like the Stubby's turn. So we got our Chi in the deck, traverses online, which is very good. So now I think we're just waiting for Ardor. But yeah, Worlds 2023 I think tracks from when we started playing, right? Yeah, so I think like for the most part, like I've not seen Brier be like super impressive in LL, but like for some reason this season she's just really good off the back. I think of mostly the Aurora Armory deck, as well as just like some random like Earth support, like the random like cards that they got printed for her. It's kind of wild like how much the Aurora Armory deck actually like influenced this deck, because you're seeing stuff like Skizik and like the Serenade combo as well. It's basically just like a ton of 0-for-4s with Heroic as well. The good news is we do have some armor out of the way, which is nice. We are at a little bit of a life deficit into them, but we do have all of our armor up. So I think as long as we find our War in the next couple hands, we actually are probably going to be in decent shape. I think this hand is nothing to write home about necessarily. We might honestly just use this hand to try to like bait out blocks with needles. Alright, coming in for 11 with the Plunder Run on hit also active. There's no world where we can block this. So I think we're just taking this. I wonder if we should also be boarding in the Flick Flax in this matchup. I feel like that might also be kind of reasonable. Actually, do they have a sideboard for this deck? Oh, no sideboard. Okay, yeah, we'll figure it out. So here, I almost like don't want to even play this hand, but we kind of like have to just because it doesn't block very well. So I think we got like 2 more turns before I think we're in like real danger. Like I think if we don't draw Ardor in like 2 turns, we're probably dead. All right, I do like to see pitch to grass though. So we're taking our 2 damage, and then I think we're just blocking with like Biting Breeze here, and maybe like Arsenal the Pouncing Key and just sending a bunch of 100 ones. Not very exciting, I'd say. So we are pretty concerned, I'd say, about their hand currently. At least we'll get some needle pokes in. But yeah, not fighting Art of War with this deck is generally quite painful. So we'll go ahead and Arsenal the Pouncing Key here. Hope we draw it. Unfortunate. So yeah, unfortunately, the thing about Zen in LL is he just is like an Art of War deck now. I mean, I guess he's like always been an Art of War deck, but like draw hands like these and like you just like cannot necessarily capitalize on them. Yeah, with less chain and Starvo after the bans, yeah, I think that that's also probably led to why like Brier's doing a lot better. So this is also threatening the Plunder Run. Maybe we just need to like pop Traverse here. I guess we don't really need to do it now. But, like, we're also kind of dying. I think we honestly are just probably dead at this point, right? Yeah, we're not looking too good, I'd say. Wonder how far off of Art of War we were. But, like, even if we did draw Art of War, I don't know if we were necessarily winning this game. They also get the regrowth shock, which is pretty nasty. This card's also really good. Just getting back like a 0 cost, and then also dealing extra damage. Very, very solid. So I imagine here we're gonna get snaps. So gun block 4. See, I made this a matchup where the Flick-Flocks come in. This could be a sideboarding error. I think also this deck is just like super, super dependent on Art of War. I think now we're also just like dying to Rosetta Thorn. I think we like could have lived here, but like even if we were blocking Traverse, like we're still not really winning this game. Yeah, like even if they was like they're definitely killing us with the Rosetta, right? But like even if we do end up blocking with like Traverse and Strides, we're still not really winning that game. Let's see how close the Art of War was. Not close at all. So we had like 4. Yeah, basically 4 hands before we were seeing the Art of War. Yeah, so I think that's probably just unfortunate. Maybe with this deck you're supposed to like against Brier, even if you don't have Art of War, maybe you're supposed to pop off earlier. I don't know. Like even like that's the question I have though. Is like if we pop Traverse and Strides and then also use Stubbies, does that kill? And I don't know if it does. Maybe we need to workshop this a little bit more. Let's try another one. Maybe I need to be a little bit more aggressive there. It's also my first time playing this specific iteration of Zen LL. Like, I'm wondering if maybe I'm supposed to go a bit aggro there, maybe even bring in the Flick-Flocks just to help keep us alive a bit. Alright, playing against Florpole. Let's try the Flick-Flocks, actually. So they're putting me on first, which is also kind of interesting. Playing a real deck this time. What do we board out for the Flicks? I feel like the pick up the points are pretty reasonable. Get rid of, or maybe that, or like we can board out. What are the other options? So many 2-blocks in this deck. Maybe the pick up the points are like the weakest. I could also see the upsticks. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Yeah, it was bad. Alright, let's try like this. Let's try the Flick-Flocks and then run a similar kind of configuration. I will admit I don't necessarily have the best reps on LL Zen. So I think it's a good learning experience at least. It does feel like Brier just has like more consistent output. That's kind of what I'm observing. Like, it just seems like she does so much damage and she doesn't have to, like, draw Art of War to make that work, right? But I guess we get the added benefit of, like, running Stubbies. So, I don't know. Maybe it evens out. Alright, so we have a double levels. So I think, actually, here... I think we still have to pitch the levels, right? It doesn't really make sense to pitch a red and then do that. Because we have to like draw off the levels. Actually, hold on. Does that make sense? We do the levels for red. We gain a resource. We go again on this. We do 4 go again, end on 5 go again. So we're basically cycling closer to our Art of War by 1 card because we're drawing off this. Actually, it might be correct to just try to get 1 card deeper. But we are losing the Flick-Flock, which would also be bad. I feel like Flick-Flock actually might be relevant. So let's... The other play would get us 1 card deeper, but this is actually like a higher value line, maybe. So I think we're still going to go for this. Let's go ahead and get... probably just a 1 for 5, right? I think that seems fine. Then we'll just do draw go on this. Alright, we draw the Minnowism. Not incredibly helpful. We can at least just play it out. So we saw a Skizzic block. We could end up giving like 1 needle if we really wanted to here, but we maybe don't even need to do that. We're going to clear the cards out of hand here anyways. I almost wonder if red Minnowism is like maybe worth it in this deck sometimes, but like I feel like a lot of the time you'd almost just rather use the blue. Like, I feel like 95% of the time you want the blue. So we still know about the Skizik in hand, so I'm not even going to bother with the needles this turn. I think I'll just go ahead and Arsenal Flick-Flack. Alright, so this is basically perfect. So we have the Flick-Flack and Arsenal, but we are also getting the Art of War. So the question I have is whether or not we want to pop on a 6-card Art of War hand. Like, we maybe just want to try to do the full 7 if we can help it. And maybe just try to block a little bit this turn. I feel like blocking a bit this turn might actually be more relevant. I guess it kind of depends on what they do here. I feel like I actually maybe want to just like block out, send needles, and then Arsenal the Art of War and do it next turn. Alright, so we got an Embolism into the Snatch. Alright, so this is a good blocking opportunity. Go ahead and block 7 here, and then we'll just like needle, Arsenal, Art of War. I think this puts us actually in a pretty good spot. So let's go ahead and try to force some cards out of hand. If we can just remove pressure or also deal 4 damage, I think we're happy with both. If I get Stream Sniped and Face Purgatoried, I guess I also accept that. Didn't they also just like unban something for Chain? They unbanned Malefic? Or no, they unbanned Deadwood Dirge. That's what it was. I wonder if Chain gets any better. I know Succumb is not restricted in LL, right? So maybe Chain is actually like a little bit better now. This hand is kind of painful. It's not the worst. We just have to pitch a red here. But then we're getting probably a blue off the Belittle at some point. This hand's definitely awkward. But I think we're still probably just have to go off of this. Alright, nice little buff power. Alright, let's do it. They don't have Tunic up, so even if they had CNC in hand, they can't play it. So I'd say this is pretty good for us. So we actually do have an option on this hand of whether or not we want to pitch the Chi versus play it. I feel like it's just better to like Belittle first and then Art of War off the Minnowism. And I feel like that maybe is higher returns, so then we get to keep the Chi. This also plays around like Face Purgatory, right? So I think we're supposed to start by pitching like the Mauling to Belittle. I guess we could also pitch like the 100 Winds to Belittle. But 100 Winds is basically coming in for like the same kind of rate. So maybe the Mauling is actually better to get rid of. Let's reveal the Tiger for the least amount of information. We'll grab the last Minnowism. I'd say we got a pretty good hand. So now we Art of War, buff Banish. Get rid of that Tiger, draw another Flick-Flack. Not great. But I guess this is still fine. So we always discard the Flick-Flack also to Face Purgatory if we're worried about that. So are we just going to grab our Chase here? Probably. Let's go ahead and just grab Chase then. It doesn't synergize with the Stubbies, but that's maybe fine. So yeah, we'll go ahead and go for it. I think we want to finish with the needles ideally. We got some big damage this turn. I don't think this like kills outright though. It does definitely feel like Brier is kind of like the deck to beat right now. But I don't think there's anything wrong with it. She's just kind of like an aggro mid-range hero or whatever. I think that's probably fine for her to be like in the position she is. think Ira's also doing quite well right now. Alright, so we'll take the opportunity here to just discard the Flick, I think. So we're gonna have to discard anyways. We could also keep the Flick and discard the Harmony Hunt. That's also reasonable, but we would lose like 4 value or something off the stubby Art Ore. So let's just discard the Flick here, I think. I think it's still fine. So now we can Tiger for 5. And then, so Harmony Hunt would come in for 1, or no, sorry, come in for 3, then 2. But we can also just pitch it for Needles, which is better. I guess it's technically better to just send the Harmony, right? We'd also like Arsenal of Tiger it makes if we really want to. I will say that if Zen had access to 2 more Bonds of Ancestry, I think this would be a very different meta. Zen with 2 more Bonds, I think, definitely beats this version of Brier. But maybe Zen shouldn't have the Bonds to begin with. That's also completely reasonable. Let's do 3, then 8. And they are off of most of the cards in hand. So I think we're going to just hold on to this Crouching Tiger just as a starter. And just try to tempo them from here. I guess maybe there's merit to double. No, there's still not merit to double Needle. Yeah, I think I still like the idea of holding the Tiger for next turn. Oh, fantastic game. And we still also have Kasai up, which is nice. So this is like a mid-Brier turn. We can actually probably capitalize on this pretty well. You know what's also funny? I don't know how many like real meme decks there are in LL right now. It just feels like the power level is so high that like nothing's really ever a meme deck. It's kind of interesting. Alright, so Rosetta. Alright, so 8 damage turn from Brier, I think I'm very happy with. So now let's go ahead and start the Biting Breeze. This might actually bait out like the Tunic block. But we have the Tiger anyway, so it doesn't really matter if they block with Tunic here or not. I guess it just means we get to like save the Tiger for next turn, which is also pretty reasonable. So we let this resolve. You can then stir that Chi on the bottom too, which is nice. So we gain a resource, activate Zen. Grab our last chase. Last chase. I think that's fine. There's also maybe like an argument to not grab chase there and just grab like the second Marlin key, which would let us keep a Tiger and like prevent ourselves from bricking. But I actually don't know how worried you have to be about bricking, specifically on this version of Zen. Like, I feel like you can afford to go off like Tiger and Arsenal if it means more damage, just because like the Needles also end up dealing a lot of damage and can kind of unbrick you. So I feel like it's a lot more reasonable to like not have like set up an Arsenal if you don't need it. Added benefit here is we have hit with the Tiger Swipe, we can also threaten 4 on the pouncing. It's quite nice. But it looks like they're aiming to keep a 5-card Brier hand, which has me terrified. So we did see 2 Skizzics already. Still have some burn-up shocks we have to worry about. I honestly even think that maybe like the Flick Flacks are kind of just unnecessary into Brier. Like maybe you just want to be running as much aggro as possible. Alright, so we do get to threaten the additional 4 here. And as long as they're not representing like 30 damage in their hand, we can actually kind of be okay here. Still also have access to Kasai if we redraw into Chi, which is very funny. So we don't have any more chases in the deck, so the Chi is like a little bit less valuable. So honestly, it might just be a Zen State opportunity. Is it a Zen State opportunity? It's probably worth it. I guess we can see if they want to like close the chain here. All right, ball lightning coming in. So ball lightning is actually like a really interesting way to get around Kasaya. Wonder if this is just a Zen state blockout turn. I feel like we could also like threaten lethal on this hand maybe. Say it kind of depends a lot on what Florple ends up doing here. I think you also probably should just close chain just to remove the possibility of me doing it on a future turn. I don't know. I think I'm supposed to just beat my advantage and try to pressure off this hand as much as possible. I feel like there's not really a compelling reason to make Zen state here. Jack be nimble. Steal an item they control. Hilarious. I mean, functionally, it's just a 0 for 4, right? Like, it makes sense. Wild. Insane Jack be nimble tech. At least the nice thing about all the generics is they don't synergize incredibly well with ball lightning. Yeah, so I think we're just supposed to eat the damage here. All right, let's go ahead and put on the aggro here. So we'll start with the needles, and then we can always rebuy needle with the up sticks. But the needle should be pretty good at pressuring cards out of hand here. Go ahead and now send another one. And if he also wants to go to 1, I think that's acceptable. Maybe there's merit to just like playing the up sticks proactively, so that we can just threaten additional damage this turn. Maybe that was a miss on my part. So I think that was actually maybe better to do that, because then we're representing more damage. Yeah, I think I actually like that more. That's okay though. So what are we doing instead? I guess we can just like breed anger and then like end on aspect. There's definitely a better way to do this. I think the Lexi deck like broke my brain a little bit. We still should be taking at least 2 cards out of hand here. But we could obviously have taken, I think, 1 more. Oh, weakest link. Interesting. Is there a lot of weakest link targets in the meta right now? I guess like Zen's one of them, right? But aside from Zen, is there? I guess like maybe against like Kano or whatever. Kano's another deck who seems very, very strong in LL. Alright. Going to draw a card here. So they can't Rosetta Thorn yet, at least not for the damage mode on it. Which means we should be able to safely block here. So if it snaps into something, then we just block whatever the next thing is. So I think it's still fine. I think I probably punted by not presenting the upsticks on the last turn. But we live and we learn. So this shouldn't be dealing damage, right? Played an attack action, or wait, sorry. Played an attack action and a non-attack action. So the only an attack action has been played. Take 1 here. Take 0 arcane damage here, and then we get to up sticks, transcend, belittle. Yeah, we can do everything here. So we're still good. We could actually die to like double shock. That would kill us. So maybe we did actually punt pretty substantially. So we'll start with the up sticks, and then we'll Rising Sun. All right, we draw that. That's fine. So I guess we'd rather just have the up sticks here. Then we draw the belittle. So yeah, I'd say this is all pretty good. Marlin key. Belittle, pitch the up sticks, reveal the tiger. So yeah, I think we don't have any cards in deck. Oh, we don't have the Minnowism in deck. Wait, do we? Wait, why is it showing this face down? I know we have Minnow. We definitely have Minnowism in the deck, right? Okay, maybe it's just like a visual bug. Interesting. I feel like that should be a face up. Or I guess if it didn't have a target, then it would have just like fizzled or whatever. Interesting though. Maybe also intended. Who knows? We can needle pitch for Marlin Key. We're still coming in for 4 here, which is nice. Yeah, the embodiments are also quite solid. But embodiment obviously a lot less good than Brier just like playing out the cards. Alright, so I think dodged 1 shock. Alright, well, at least we dodged the 2nd shock here, maybe. So maybe it was just the 1 shock in hand, and that's what Florple had. So now we can actually Minnowism the Tiger instead of Zephyr Needles. Is that better? Yeah, it's better. Insane Minnowism value, I guess. I guess it's like ultimately the same, but we're not like presenting a needle to get popped. It's probably about the same, right? All right. This did not give me a ton of confidence in LLZen. I guess like we drew like average that game, but like even an average game was close, and that one game where we like did not see Art of War like felt like it was not remotely close. It feels like Zen is just like so Art of War dependent, and like Brier just has like a ton of power that she doesn't need to be like Art of War dependent, and like you also just get to play like some of the very strongest generics like Snatch and CNC and stuff. I don't know. This deck is like really good. Like I think Brier is definitely like just the deck to beat right now. I don't even know how like you fully beat this deck. Like it feels like it doesn't lose to CYB. It doesn't lose to like I guess like Disruption is like the main thing. Like you just try to keep Brier off like a 5-card hand. So maybe Disruption is really what she struggles into, but like I feel like Bravo or like Starvo and Chain being like out of the meta just like makes this like a lot less good, I guess. All right, let's see if anyone's in the queue, but we might just wrap it up there. Well, am I in the mood for one more? I'll do one last one. I mean, the Zen games are at least a lot quicker than the Lexi games. I think we'll do one more just to see. Yeah, like Zen honestly does feel like he kind of just like gets a bit outclassed by Brier, but maybe we're also not running like a ton of tech. Like maybe they're like we run like some Brier tech that maybe helps with that, or maybe like we also didn't draw. I think our Warmongers, right? Where's our Warmongers? Oh, are we not running Warmongers in this deck? Hold on, let me like make sure that's the case. Oh, I did not mean to take a screenshot. Oh, I guess we're not running I guess the Warmonger is also like super clunky with the up 6 and stuff. All right, we're playing against a Marlin. Let's grab our immovables, I guess. What do we do against Marlin? I have no idea. Maybe board out the pick up the points and like maybe in the mauling key or something. Maybe borrow like 1 mauling, 1 pouncing or something like this. I think this is probably fine. All right, let's see what Marlin can do in LL. Let's start with the up sticks, I guess, and just maybe see if we can get them to get a card in graveyard. Marlin's interesting in LL. Ooh, Swift Shot, also another one. Very spicy. So now we can close chain, pass over that. And now we just get to put our foot on the gas a little bit. Seems good. So now we can grab, like, I just want, like, Breed Anger or something. I don't know if we want the mauling right away, especially if it's just going to, like, get blocked. I think we'll just push the breakpoints a little bit here. All right, Golden Tipple plus Seek and Destroy. Hopefully our Flick Flack will save us a little bit on this next turn. I don't think I'm going to give up the other needle here. I think that maybe is a bit greedy. I think our win con against Marlin here is just Art of War. So I think they're not... I mean, if there's anything like CC Marlin, I don't know if they're going to have a ton of pressure to necessarily, like, force us off of like hands. Like they're sitting a king kraken here, which is definitely like good for damage purposes, but like otherwise they're not really taking anything out of our hand. So I think we just like don't care about this. Like they obviously get to refresh their gold and whatever, but otherwise we don't really care. I guess maybe like the sleep darts are also kind of annoying. But yeah, I've heard decent things about Marlin LL. I just don't know what those decent things are. I can go and grain here. Gain a resource. And then I think let's start poking it with some needles. I think if we can also force cards out of hand, we're in pretty good shape. But I'll take my 4 free damage. I'd say this is pretty good. We do need to be a bit careful to not just like overcommit and die. But like we need to make sure we're not getting like locked out of the game, I guess, by like King Shark or whatever. Alright, this is looking like a really good hand. So what are we trying to avoid here from Marlin? King Kraken's not great, but we can at least just like pitch the Minnowism here. And they're sending in King Kraken. This is fine still. So actually what we can do here is we can stir the pot, draw off Orihone. No, the problem is... No, there's a problem with that, and that's... Maybe the actual play we're supposed to do is just ignore the Orihone. Or alternatively block the Minnowism plus Traverse and just go off on that. Maybe that's actually the best play. So I think here, I think we're just going to go for it. We block like this. We're not keeping a non-attack in hand. And then we're going to also just use the Flick Clack just to cover a little bit of additional damage. But this is, I think, one of the struggles, I guess, with like Marlin LL, is that like, if you're just sitting like King Krakens against some decks, it's like pretty rough. They do basically get infinite gold though, which is kind of nice. I don't know, I think there is like maybe merit to this deck against like Brier. Like I think that's maybe the kind of appeal. But beyond that, I'm not sure. So we didn't play a blue, that's fine. Okay. So we want to start with the Orihone somehow. The only problem is like we can't do everything here. I think the best play, honestly, is maybe just Orihone pitch the levels and just say we're gonna ignore these levels. No, actually, there is a better play. We can levels. No, we levels, stir, then we Orihone. No, but that's still the same problem, right? We level, stir, or I guess we could also. I feel like all these plays have like a similar problem to them. I guess we're like still drawing like 3 cards regardless, kind of. I guess this gives us like the most amount of card draw. I guess we just drop in the ocean anyways. So this is still fine. So now we drop here. I feel like I don't know which is better between the Orihone first or the levels first. I guess it's still fine. Unfortunately, the Flick Clack draw means that we don't get the ability to. The Flick Clack draw means that like we don't get to get an extra card here or whatever. So we drew our card. We get -1. Okay, yeah, this still tracks. Oh, we also should have stubbied first. I'm dumb. All right, so we missed 1 damage there, but that's fine. So -1 damage for me. And I guess we can just like start with the belittle too. I think it's still okay. Go ahead and close the chain. Play out the Minnowism. I guess we can also like pitch the Flick Clack. I think it still works out. So I missed 1 damage on not activating stubbies first. And then I think I was thinking too much about the levels Orihone, like which one of those is better. I don't think it actually matters a ton. So this will force blocks, and then I think we basically kill from here. So I feel like maybe what I learned, at least from this play session was then, is that like you don't actually have to like play towards Art of War a ton. Like you can kind of just like aggro and still be in like kind of a similar spot. So the question here is, what can Marlin do off a 2-card hand? I think the answer is not a ton, so I don't even know if I should threaten the needle here. I feel like I'd rather just save the needle, even if it means I get the Seek and Destroy effect. I think this is fine. We'll just go ahead and save our other needle, and then just pass back. And on this hand, we can actually just buy it back, which is also great. Oh, Tipple is pretty scary. But Tipple with reds is also, like, not that good. Yeah, I think at this point we don't really just care about the gold. So now let's start with the up sticks. Pay a resource. Do we want to pay with the other up sticks or the path? I guess it doesn't really matter a ton. I guess we'll just get rid of the path, just so we're pushing as much damage as possible. Then we can play the other one and then needle into mauling. And this should basically strip hand again. And we can like arsenal the other up sticks. I think this is the best play. I guess they can still keep a 2-card hand here if they like gold bait hook plus trench and then draw like 3 oak. I feel like that doesn't even do a ton. Yeah, I'd say this is fine. Yeah, I'm kind of curious to look at the deck list they have after this, because I'm curious if like Marlin LL is that much different from like CC Marlin. Like, I feel like the main kind of reason to play this deck is mostly just for Brier. Like, we could block this, but I still don't feel like we need to. I feel like the gold here is kind of not super relevant. So let's start with the Art of War. We'll go ahead and banish, I think, the Aspect here. I think the Aspect is more likely to brick than the 100 wins. And then here, we have another Art of War. Sure, why not? 2 buff banish. Get rid of the pick of the points. Then we draw Sacred Art, which is great. So maybe up sticks, Sacred Art. Yeah, that seems pretty good. And then we can just kill him. Yeah, I'd say if you draw Art of War, Sacred Art, that's a pretty good turn, right? It seems alright. Like, I feel like Zen's ceiling is a lot higher than Brier, but his floor is, like, just feels a lot worse. I don't know. The floor on Zen is, even with needles, it feels like just, like a league below Brier. Let's go ahead and just send in the Tigers as well. I think we got this pretty wrapped up here. Then just finish on the 100 wins. Don't even need to cheat. All right, let's take a look at what their deck. Oh, cash in, I guess, is also the another main appeal to play Marlin and LL. So it's kind of interesting here. Wait, where are the 3 oaks? Oh, interesting. We're not running 3 oak. Wait, is 3 oak banned?
No.
It's not banned in LL?
No.
Okay, interesting. So maybe they just chose not to run 3 oak and instead run the cash-ins instead, which I think kind of makes sense. Seek and Destroy. I feel like Seek and Destroy is just like not very good in Marlin to begin with. I feel like this is like a pretty strong thing to do though. Like it feels like you actually maybe have like an okay Brier matchup, which maybe like gives this deck a little bit of legitimacy. It's more so like the Zen and the Ira matchups that I'd be more concerned about, but maybe there actually might just be something here. Like this doesn't actually seem that unreasonable. Maybe you do want the 3 oaks though. Like I think the 3 oaks are pretty good. But yeah, there's a lot of card draw on this deck, which is kind of cool. All right, I think that's probably gonna wrap it up for today. So played 2 decks today. So the first one was a complete train wreck. So this was the Snapshot deck. I think we did the combo 1 time, and then we won a game that was not even remotely combo related, which is hilarious. And the 1 game we did combo, we also like had to cheat in resources. So like, I don't know. This combo is kind of like a nightmare. I encourage you, if you want to waste like multiple hours at a time learning how to set this up, to go do that. I think it's a pretty good use of time. But yeah, this combo is like actually gave me a headache last night, and like even playing it today, like just setting this up is such a pain in the ass. Like I don't know. Not a ton of. I don't know. It's very inconsistent, and you also have to be like a master at stacking, which I am not. So I don't know. For all you master stackers out there, this I think is your deck. Wizard Lexi was so funny. Oh yeah, I can post links in chat. So I think we did have. I think Tegan, do you have the deck list command for the?
Yeah, if you type exclamation point deck like this, you'll get what deck list we're playing with today.
Yeah, I also didn't post. I didn't post this one. I didn't actually plan on playing any Zen LL, but that I think is also the Zen LL desk. I think you can also find that in the purple Discord. Um, but yeah, that one I think is also pretty fun. That's from Frog. I've never met them in person. I just know them over Discord. But I think they've been playing Zen LL and having some pretty good success. So I trust their deck list a lot. I do have some ideas for this specific deck list. Like I want to see if I can try to build a Zen deck that like consistently beats Brier. Like maybe this deck list does do like pretty well in the Brier, and maybe we just have like small sample size. I don't play enough LL to really know that, but I feel like there's maybe something better we can do. I just don't know what. So maybe I'm gonna tinker with this deck a little bit. I think that there's maybe some things to explore here. But yeah, the Frog, like this deck list is like not a mean deck list. This is like I think legitimately just like how you play Zen and LL. I think this deck list is really solid. Just the needle package in general is just like so strong in LL, and like LL as it currently stands is just a very aggro format. So like if this look like kind of aggressive slant to the deck, I think is also really good. But yeah, back to the main deck that we're playing. I think this deck is Nightmare. Don't play it unless you are really wanting to play Lexi. And also, I should probably post the original deck list. So yeah, let me grab the original deck list, because if you want to play like the original idea, I think that's also something worth trying. That was just my iteration to kind of try to improve on this a bit. So I'll post this one also in the chat. But yeah, I encourage you to try these two deck lists if you want to waste a bunch of time. I think that's, I don't know. I don't think this is necessarily like a viable LL strategy, but it's fun. Like it was kind of fun at least seeing the combo, like how it's supposed to work, but like executing the full combo is like the challenging part, especially while like not dying to like the very aggro formats as well. So yeah, encourage you all to go check that out. And I think for now I'm gonna go take a break. I've been, I think, streaming for like 2 or so hours here, so thank you all for watching. And again, I think we posted in the oh yeah, which link was Zen? I think it was the second one. I think yeah, I think it's here. I'll repost it one more time in chat if you need it. But yeah, let me post that one more time. So yeah, this link is the Zen one. Yeah, but thank you all for stopping by. And in case you all are in the kind of mood for singles or anything, we encourage you to go check out our code Flesh and Bat at Fat Foundry. I think it's like a 5 or 10% discount. I'm not entirely sure what we settled on. Yeah, but go check it out. And yeah, we'll be back for some more content like a little bit later in the week. So yeah, we'll see y'all then. And yeah, for now, I will talk to y'all later, and goodbye. Good night.